The rise and fall of the Qin Dynasty, the first unified empire of China. How a 15-year empire forged 2,000 years of Chinese imperial civilization. Chapter 1. Looking back on ancient empires across world history, most mighty regimes would collapse entirely after reaching their peak. Their civilizational heritage was cut off completely. The Qin Dynasty is a remarkable exception. It only ruled for 15 years, making it China's shortest unified dynasty. Yet, it remodeled the development trajectory of Chinese civilization for more than 2,000 years. Many overseas history fans simplify the Qin Dynasty into several stereotypes. They only associate Qin with tyranny, the Great Wall, and the burning of books. They overlook its revolutionary institutional innovations. After 500 years of division, collapsed rituals, and endless wars during the Warring States period, the Qin put an end to centuries-long regional separation. It founded China's first complete centralized governing system, drawing on archaeological sites and authoritative historical documents. This documentary explores three core historical questions. How did the remote, once weak state of Qin conquer the six powerful rival kingdoms and accomplish unprecedented national unification? Were Emperor Qin Shi Huang's institutional transformations groundbreaking progress or latent risks that triggered the empire's collapse? Why has the short-lived 15-year Qin dynasty become the foundational cornerstone of Chinese civilization for 2,000 years? It was a short-lived dynasty, yet its institutions lasted for eternity. The rise and sudden fall of Qin within 15 years established the basic civilizational framework that shaped China for the next 2 millennia. Chapter 2. The Qin was not an orthodox vassal state originating in the Central Plains. Back in the Western Zhou era, it was only a frontier tribe stationed in the northwest. Its core duty was breeding war horses for the Zhou royal house. The Qin people endured constant clashes with nomadic tribes in brutal surroundings. When King Ping moved the Zhou capital eastward, Duke Xiang of Qin escorted and protected the Zhou court. He was officially granted the status of feudal lord. The Qin gained dominion over the desolate Guangzhou territory. For centuries, Central Plains kingdoms scorned Qin as a barbaric frontier land. Duke Mu of Qin seized temporary hegemony during the spring and autumn period. Nevertheless, the entrenched aristocratic hereditary system trapped Qin inside severe developmental bottlenecks. In the early Warring States period, Wei grew powerful swiftly thanks to Li Kuei's reforms. Wei defeated Qin many times in battles, pushing Qin into a precarious defensive predicament. Extreme adversity paved the way for thorough transformation. After ascending the throne, Duke Xiao issued decrees to recruit talents nationwide. Xiangyang carried out 2 rounds of drastic reforms. The reforms thoroughly abolished hereditary aristocratic privileges, rebuilt the whole social order, and transformed Qin into a highly centralized and efficient regime. The nation operated around agriculture and military service. These changes built a firm foundation for Qing's century-long journey toward unification. The Central Plains states clung to obsolete rituals and hollow reputations. By contrast, Qin cast aside outdated customs to chase tangible national strength. The scale of historical power shifted, and this trend could no longer be reversed. Chapter 3. The reforms of the 6 eastern states relied entirely on individual monarchs. They would collapse once the supportive ruler passed away. In sharp contrast, Xiangyang's reform built a self-sustaining legal system. This complete set of institutions operated independently of personal will. It abolished the ancient well-field system and legalized private land ownership. This policy greatly liberated agricultural productivity. It implemented the military merit rank system. Ordinary commoners could elevate their status through battlefield achievements. The long-standing aristocratic hereditary monopoly over power was completely broken. The reform split oversized clans and strengthened household registration management. It unified national measurement standards. These multi-dimensional measures thoroughly consolidated Qin's centralized power. All successive Qing monarchs strictly inherited and enforced this legal system. This stable institutional foundation sustained continuous growth of national strength. Endowed with the fertile Guangzhong Plain and the impregnable Hangul Pass, Qin possessed unparalleled innate strategic advantages. Adopting Fanju's famous strategy of befriend distant states while attacking neighboring powers, Qin successfully disintegrated the vertical alliance of the 6 eastern states. It gradually annexed the core territories of the Sanjin regions. It continuously weakened Chu and Qi, the 2 dominant eastern powers. Qin steadily seized absolute dominance over the entire warring state's geopolitical pattern. 3 landmark decisive battles rewrote the fate of the era. The Battle of Yik, the Battle of Yanying, and the Battle of Changping annihilated the elite main forces of Han, Wei, Chu, and Zhao. The military systems of the 6 states suffered total collapse. No regional power remained capable of resisting Qin independently. The grand trend of national unification became completely irreversible. Qin's institutional superiority replaced the temporary military advantages of rival states. Systematic national suppression replaced sporadic battlefield victories. A full century of steady accumulation endowed Qin with absolute strength to unify the realm. Chapter 4. National Unification. Yingzheng conquers 6 states and founding of the unified empire. 221 BCE. In 246 BCE, the young Yingzheng ascended the Qin throne. He removed the rebellious forces of Lao Ai. He also eliminated the political dominance of Lü Buwei. Finally, he seized full and absolute control of the royal court. Standing on the solid foundation laid by 6 generations of Qin rulers, he officially launched the comprehensive unification war. From 230 BCE to 221 BCE, lasting exactly 10 years, the mighty Qing army conquered the 6 eastern states one after another. The conquest followed the strict order: Han, Zhao, Wei, Chu, Yan, and Qi. In 221 BCE, the last state Qi surrendered without any resistance. This moment put a complete end to the 500-year-long division. Both the spring and autumn and warring states eras came to a close. Yingzheng believed his merits surpassed all ancient sage kings. He invented the unprecedented title of emperor. He titled himself the first emperor of Qin. With Xianyang as the imperial capital, he established China's first multi-ethnic, unified centralized empire. The millennium-old aristocratic separatism rooted in the Western Zhou enfouffment system was thoroughly terminated. For the first time in history, ancient China realized full unification. Territory, political regime, and legal systems were completely integrated. This historic founding opened a 2,000-year-long imperial era of Chinese civilization. 10 years of relentless warfare unified the chaotic realm. One imperial inauguration unlocked a millennial institutional tradition. Qin Shi Huang ended endless division and established the eternal core essence of China's unified civilization. Chapter 5. After the Great National Unification, Qin Shi Huang launched a set of groundbreaking institutional reforms. These reforms completely reshaped China's national governance structure. Their core frameworks were inherited by successive dynasties for 2,000 years. In the political field, Qin Shi Huang thoroughly abolished the ancient enfeoffment system. He fully implemented the advanced prefecture-county system nationwide. The whole empire was divided into 36 administrative prefectures. All local officials were directly appointed and dismissed by the central court. This fundamental change completely eradicated the risk of regional separatism. In cultural and economic domains, he standardized writing systems, carriage tracks, measurements, and currency. The small seal script was designated as the universal national font. These policies shattered long-standing regional cultural barriers. They greatly boosted nationwide commodity trade and economic circulation. More importantly, they unified the cultural identity of divided regions. In military construction and national infrastructure, Qin Shi Huang ordered General Meng Tian to lead 300,000 elite troops. They repelled northern nomadic invasions and constructed the Great Wall. This massive project stabilized the entire northern frontier defense line. Meanwhile, the Qing army launched expeditions to conquer the southern Baiyue tribes. The Ling Canal was dug to connect the Yangtze and Pearl River systems. It expanded the empire's southern territory and finalized the prototype of China's core territory. National trunk roads centered on Xianyang further consolidated central control over local regions. By abolishing enfeoffment and establishing prefectures, by unifying national laws, writing and standards, Qin Shi Huang ended millennia-old tribal and regional separatism. He forged the enduring civilizational gene of Chinese national great unification. Chapter 6. Imperial hidden dangers, advanced governance, and accumulated social conflicts. Qin's institutional reforms were undoubtedly epoch-making. Yet these advanced systems severely mismatched the post-war social reality. After 500 years of endless warfare, the exhausted civilians longed for lenient policies and social recuperation. Contrary to public expectation, Qin Shi Huang sustained high-intensity national governance. Large-scale infrastructure construction consumed massive manpower. Long-term border garrisons drained national resources. Strict and harsh laws continuously overburdened the common people. The rigorous legal system, once ideal for wartime annexation, turned rigid and inhumane in peaceful times. The law possessed zero flexibility. Even minor offenses incurred severe punishment. Ordinary people easily fell foul of legal codes, which sharply intensified overall social tension. Meanwhile, the former aristocratic forces of the six conquered states were never completely eradicated. They harbored deep resentment toward the Qin regime. They lay dormant in society, waiting for chances to restore their old dominions. These residual forces became enormous hidden political dangers. In 213 BCE, the Qin Dynasty enforced book burning. In 212 BCE, it launched the persecution of scholars. These policies aimed to unify national ideology and strengthen centralization. Nevertheless, they greatly intensified dissatisfaction among the scholar official class. The Qin regime gradually lost popular foundation and public support. With social contradictions and political crises overlapping endlessly, the seemingly powerful Qing Empire stood on the brink of collapse. Advanced institutions clashed with fragile post-war livelihoods. Wartime strict laws were forcibly applied to a peaceful realm. Beneath the glorious unified illusion lay irreparable social rifts. Chapter 7. The collapse of the Qin Empire, coup, rebellion, and the fall of a 15-year dynasty. In 210 BCE, Qin Shi Huang passed away during his Eastern inspection tour. His death took place at Shakyu, triggering a fatal succession crisis. In order to seize supreme political power, eunuch Zhao Gao and Prime Minister Li Si launched a secret conspiracy. They tampered with the imperial last will and testament. The virtuous Crown Prince Fusu and renowned General Meng Tian were wrongfully executed. The incompetent and cruel Hu Hai was installed as the second emperor of Qin. The Shakyu coup completely shattered the legitimate imperial inheritance system. After ascending the throne, the second emperor indulged in extravagant luxury. He thoroughly neglected all state affairs and national governance. This allowed Zhao Gao to monopolize the entire court power. Zhao Gao purged royal clan members and loyal upright ministers. The imperial court completely lost public credibility and governing authority. Heavy taxation and brutal corvée labor were further intensified. Ordinary civilians were pushed to the absolute brink of survival. In 209 BCE, the Dazexiang uprising broke out. Led by Chen Sheng and Wu Guang, it ignited nationwide anti-Qing rebellion. Common people and former nobles of the 6 conquered states rose up everywhere. In 207 BCE, Xiang Yu defeated the main Qing force in the decisive Battle of Zhulu. Meanwhile, Liu Bang marched into the Guanzhong region and captured Xianyang. The last Qing ruler Ziying surrendered without resistance. This moment marked the official collapse of the 15-year-old Qin Empire. A covert palace coup amplified all accumulated hidden dangers of the empire. Subsequent tyrannical rule destroyed the great achievement of national unification. The Qin Dynasty fell not because of defective institutional design, but because it completely lost the support of the common people. Chapter 8. Later generations often label the Qin Dynasty only as a short-lived tyrannical regime. They overlook its irreplaceable value to Chinese civilization. The collapse of Qin was not a failure of the centralized system itself. It was the concentrated eruption of multiple overlapping conflicts. Advanced institutions could not adapt to underdeveloped people's livelihoods. Wartime governing mechanisms were forcibly carried over into peaceful eras. Incompetent successors and treacherous ministers further destabilized the whole empire. The Qin left 2 everlasting heritages to Chinese civilization. First, the centralized prefecture-county system. It put an end to thousands of years of separatism caused by involvement. It became the core governing framework adopted by all later dynasties. Second, the pursuit of unified writing, laws, and territory took deep root. From then on, national great unification turned into the dominant trend in Chinese history. The hardships and lessons of the Qing paved the road for the 400-year prosperity of the Han Dynasty. It fulfilled a historic transition from centuries of chaotic division to a unified golden age. We traced the unification journey of the warring states in our last video. This episode has unfolded the complete rise and fall of the Qing Empire. Our upcoming video will focus on the full prosperity and decline of the Western Han Dynasty. Subscribe to follow this chronological Chinese history series covering the pre-Qin period through the Qing and Han dynasties. The Qing royal regime vanished within 1 generation, but its institutions lasted for more than 1,000 years. A short-lived dynasty faded away, yet its civilization endures forever.